I have so far read 5 of the Hercule Poirot novels written by Agatha Christie. Murder on the Orient Express, Death on the Nile, Cards on the Table, The Hollow, Evil Under the Sun. It's telling that there is a strict formula for how these novels are written. We are first introduced to the civilians who will become the murder suspects once the murder is committed. The murder happens. Hercule Poirot is introduced around about a quarter way through the novel. The bulk of the novel is Hercule Poirot interviewing all of the suspects, and then in the final quarter we have the grand finale of Poirot working through all of the information that he has collected and finding who the murderer is. But within that formula there are some very severe restrictions. The first of which is that we are given a very little amount of time to become introduced to and familiar with all of the characters who will become the suspects once the murder occurs. They all have names and backgrounds and personalities, and we're introduced to them in a rather scattergun, fast approach. And then the murder happens, but after the murder happens, everyone's personality changes because some people are grieving and some people are hiding incriminating evidence. And so the actual chance we have to learn about who they were before the murder is very limited to just so many pages. The problem that I have found, there are just too many characters, it all happens too quickly, and it all just blurs in my mind, and I can't actually remember who is who was interested in doing what, who has a grudge against who, and I'm just not enjoying the mystery because I can't actually invest myself in any of the characters. I don't really care about who succeeds and who fails. I'm not really interested in learning who the murderer is. And the one novel that I think gets it right is Death on the Nile. We spend a significant amount of time being introduced to all the main cast before the murder happens. I was actually invested in all of the characters. There were some who I liked, who I wanted to succeed. There were other characters who I disliked, who I wanted to fail. And I was working through the probability of who probably committed the murder, who might have been an accomplice, and who was definitely innocent. It was a real mystery novel. I actually wanted to figure it out myself. I wanted to be involved with figuring out the mystery. The other novels, I'm afraid, go too quickly, and the worst one is The Hollow, which I can't remember a single thing that happens in this novel, even though I only read it a certain number of months ago, and all of the characters and all of the events have just blurred in my mind. That's the difference, I think. I don't know why Agatha wrote in this style, whether she was told to by her editors or whether she preferred to write in this way. But I can tell you that most of the Agatha Christie novels are not very enjoyable because everything happens too fast, it follows too strictly a formula, and there isn't the time and space that it's needed to actually get involved, to get invested with the characters and the events, to actually care about the murder. And that, I think, is the big weakness with the Hercule Poirot novels.